Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to We Know Orlando Live on Facebook. This is our pro Alan Maycumber.
Hello, Orlando.
And we found Maytel, one of our most amazing contributors to our community. She is a lawyer in the office. You want to introduce her, Alan?
Yes, I would like to introduce you today to not only a special friend of mine, but she works in the community with me at We Know Orlando. She's an attorney with Maytel Sorondo, attorney at law. She specializes in family law, injury law, as well as estate planning. And some of the stuff we're going to go through today in this estate planning is amazing. We're going to talk a little bit about her divorce side of the law, and we're also going to talk about her estate planning. So I want to introduce Maytel Sorondo. Say hello.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here, and I'm excited to answer questions from Alan and see if I can help anyone.
And just so you know, you can find her at Maytel Sorondo Bonham at the law firms of Sorondo Bonham in Lake Nona. So just that little bit, go ahead.
Go ahead. What I'll do, I'll start out basically. How did you pick your career?
I had an odd career path. I decided in third grade that I was going to be an attorney and never wavered. So it's something that I apparently, as the oldest of 6 kids, I was uniquely qualified to do, and I never gave a second thought to my career. I absolutely love what I do.
How long, Maytel, have you been serving in Orlando?
I moved back to Orlando in 2008. I was originally from Orlando, and I left to go to law school in University of Florida in Gainesville. From there, I went to Jacksonville, and I spent 17 years in Jacksonville, and moved back here with my family.
That is awesome. So that's a great career path. What I want to ask you is, what have you done, or what do you feel that you're doing right now for the community of Lake Nona and Orlando? Because I know that we've been together for quite a while. We served together on several boards together. But tell us a little bit about that.
I am live and work in Lake Nona, and I am part of the Lake Nona Regional Chamber of Commerce. I'm on their legal committee. I also am involved with WOMATEC, which is Women on a Mission to Earn Commission. And I have a seat on the advisory board of the elementary school that I attended, as well as my siblings, and my sons recently graduated from there about 3 years ago. I also am active with the Nona Business Referral Group, and this is where we live and work and play.
And that is awesome.
I do have to say, I also know she champions the guardian advocacy and does a lot of legal aid services. So thank you, Maytel, for all that service that you do for us.
We have actually served together for quite a few years on the YMCA Board of Directors. I know that I used to be the chairman of the board of the Y, and she was there, and she has helped with many of the events we do there. So she is very active in the community, and I want people to understand the people that we connect with and we want to speak to are the ones that not only help everybody, but focus on you as the people that we want to help. So I'm going to go in and ask her basically a couple of questions that might help you. What is the term no-fault state mean?
Okay, the term no-fault state in the family realm has to do with reasons for a divorce. So we have irreconcilable differences or mental illness, but at the end of the day, the no fault basically means that the marital estate is going to be divided equally between the parties without much regard to who is at fault.
Thank you very much. That should enlighten that. Now, in reference to, unfortunately, if somebody says, hey, I think I need to get a divorce, is there a certain amount of time that you have to be separated from your partner before getting a divorce?
No. In the state of Florida, there's absolutely no requirement of a legal separation. We actually don't have legal separation. So you either go from a married state and you can be separated, living in 2 different households, or you can actually be in the same household and still be divorced.
Thank you very much. And before we go on with a few more questions, I want to invite you to like, share, and comment, because this is such an important topic for everybody. And we're going to get into more exciting topics as we go on. But I really, really want you to like, share, and comment on this, because I think it's very important people know. So let me ask you one thing, Maytel. How long does divorce affect the marital assets, like division of home and all that? How long does it take? I mean, can you fill us in on, say, from day one, somebody says, I have to have a divorce. How long is it going to take? What happens with the home? Where do we go?
Okay, that's the question I get asked probably more than anything else. How long does it take and how much money is it going to cost? And my answer is the same every single time. It depends on how much you want to fight, and that's going to drive the time, and that's going to drive the cost. Divorces are done, for the most part, on hourly rates, so the more you fight, the more it's going to cost. There is a minimum of amount of time, so if everybody agrees to everything and you can get a marital settlement agreement put in place, including parenting plans if there's minor children involved, then I could literally have you divorced in about 30 days. From the time that everything is filed, it's uncontested, you get in front of a judge, have the judge approve it. That pretty much can be happening in about 30 days. I also have been involved in cases that take about 4 to 5 years.
Wow.
Now, I have a question. You brought up contested and non-contested. What is the difference between contested and non-contested?
A contested divorce is where the parties are not in agreement, and you will have to battle out either at the end agreeing to something or having a judge make that determination for you. An uncontested divorce is one where the parties agree ahead of time and all of the paperwork can be done in short measure.
Thank you.
That's very interesting. Let me ask you one other question. One of the major concerns on the marital home when you're talking about a divorce, how does that play into a fact that, yes, you guys bought it together, but maybe the husband makes a little bit more money or the wife makes more money? And it doesn't really matter in that terms, but how does that affect the overall outturn of that home when it comes to divorce?
Well, the simple answer is that Florida is an equitable state, and so anything that was either earned during the marriage or spent during the marriage, so your assets and your liabilities, including your home, is going to, for the most part, be divided 50-50.
Okay, so say the husband bought the home prior to marriage, he gets married, she's not on the mortgage or the deed, but it still goes 50-50 if they end up getting a divorce?
The argument is that it is still marital property. It was the marital home, and so it will be divided. Now, you may have an argument for what we call an inequitable or an unequal distribution, and if the one party bought the house years before the marriage and they only lived in the house for maybe a year or two, then that is something that needs to be taken into consideration.
Thank you very much. That's very important. When it comes to divorce, do the children of the divorcees, unfortunately, do they have any rights to the homes at all?
No. Children are unfortunately collateral damage, and they do not have a right to the marital home. They may have a right to remain in the marital home if the judge agrees to that. But as far as having ownership or any interest in the house, they do not.
Why would a judge agree to them staying in a marital home?
When we talk about children in a divorcing situation, we are looking at the best interest of the child. That is the absolute standard that Florida uses. So if it's in the best interest of the children for them to remain in the home, whether they're transitioning out of high school or they're a special needs child, there are circumstances and considerations that will be looked at so that the children can remain in the home for a period of time.
Thank you very much for that. Say, for instance, should I ever, on a divorce situation, if I was in that position, should I buy my spouse out of the home and keep it, or maybe have her buy me out if it's the opposite way?
Right. When we start looking at equitable distribution, the best thing to do is to take a look at all of the assets that you have. So I tell my clients we're going to be basically dividing a pie, but not all the pieces are going to look the same. So you, in effect, get a 50-50, but that 50-50 may not look like 2 dining room chairs. So when you're looking at a house, you want to see what kind of equity you have in the house, and you want to see if there's an ability to refinance and for one party to take over from the other party. The important thing in my cases is if you are not going to have any legal entitlement to that house after the divorce, I certainly don't want you to be financially responsible for that house.
Thank you. And one other question that really comes to my mind, because I've had several friends do this, and that is they give the house to the spouse while they're going through the divorce, but they go out and buy another condo or someplace for them to live, so they're separated. Now, how does that play in to the overall divorce if now he's got a condo and she's got the house? Are all the properties, now that they're going through this, are all of them 50-50, or how does that work?
Well, that's a really good question, and that has a lot to do with the negotiations process. So if in the middle of negotiations you decide that I'm going to have one party remain in the house and the other party is going to purchase something separately, if they are in agreement that that is going to be a non-marital home, that is taken care of in the negotiations. If you get to trial, the judge has basically 3 days to choose from: the date of separation, or the date of filing, or the date of the final judgment. And a judge can determine that that second residence that was purchased during the what we call the pendency or the litigation process, if that house was purchased during that time, it really is up to the judge to decide whether or not that's marital or non-marital.
Thank you very much. Now, going on from here, I want to bring in a little bit more of an exciting topic, and that's estate planning. The newest things in estate planning for you.
One of the things that I get excited about estate planning is that as an estate planning attorney, if I've done my job and I've guided my clients correctly, they can pretty much bypass probate. So specifically in the real estate realm, if you have a home and let's say it's a husband and wife and it's owned jointly with a right of survivorship, you can go ahead and do what we refer to as a ladybird deed, or really the title is an enhanced life estate. And what you do with that is you put a beneficiary on the property so that when both parties are gone, it slides down to whomever you named as your beneficiary without the necessity of going through probate.
See, I need to get with you even personally, because the things change so quick in the estate planning, and I had my will drafted 5-6 years ago and it's already out of date. And so if you're thinking about getting with somebody, get a hold of Maytel, because it's very important for you guys to strengthen your assets as well as your estate as you go on. Almost every other year you want to do something like that.
I also want to thank Robin McAdams for being live with us, Stacy Madison McNamara, Pam, let's see here, Christy Blanchard, Mary Diaz, Priscilla Graham, and Tiki Johnson. You guys are amazing. We have so much more, so don't go away. Here we go. More questions for Maytel.
Well, I really wanted people to understand, in reference to this estate planning, it's very important that you plan way ahead. It's for the kids and for yourself to protect you as we go down the road. So I want to ask Maytel to give us her website, tell us where people can contact you, and really this is for you guys out there as the public. We want to protect you, we want to work for you, and we want to help you. So can you give us information about how they can get a hold of you?
Absolutely. Yes, thank you. My website is www.bonham.law, and I am here in the Lake Nona area. What I prefer to do is chat with my clients, my potential clients, on the phone, no cost. If you want to come in either on a family matter or estate planning or probate or personal injury, happy to sit down with you. I'll answer whatever questions you may have. Typically what we do is have a consult, and then if you want to retain us, I go ahead and give you that complimentary hour at that point. But we are happy to help. Anything I can do. I am also a family mediator, so if I can assist in that way, it's a little kinder, a little gentler. And I am fluent in Spanish, so any Spanish-speaking folks out there, happy to help.
Now, in conclusion of the divorce and the family law and all that stuff, what is your best advice you give to people that you hear most of, from people going through divorce? What is the advice you would offer them if they're going through heartache and pain? What do you want to say?
Probably the best piece of advice I can give is do not engage. At the end of the day, you're going to have to make a business decision in an emotional environment. And understanding that, the most important thing is to have a respect for yourself, to the best of your ability, respect the other person, and do not engage in any type of warfare.
That is great. Thank you so much, and we will welcome Maytel back at another time to go into a little bit more of higher estate planning for you folks, because it's very important. I want to say that we know Orlando. We're here to help you with your home purchase and your home sales, as well as connect you with the people that make a difference in your life. So you can reach us at weknoworlando.com or weknownona.com. And as we go on through the day, I hope you guys have a wonderful week. And as always, we know Orlando.
And you can also email us at tia@weknoworlando.com or Alan, that's ALLYN, at weknoworlando.com, or call our offices at 407-251-1314. As always, like, share, and comment, because we're having this wonderful lady back, and we are going to have more questions for her. We're going to answer all of your questions. So thank you, Maytel, for coming to join us today. It was absolutely fabulous.
Have a great week.
Thank you.
Bye.